Hello everybody, welcome back to the Stacey West preview show. My name is Jake, as always, back for another Sky Bet League One preview as Ipswich Town come to Central Bank on the 2nd of January. So before we just get started, just would like to wish you all a very happy new year into 2023. Hopefully that is the year for Lincoln City. Hopefully a much better year than the one we've just had. Just quickly also, we are trying to reach 1,000 subscribers on the channel, and I do appreciate everybody that watches and shares the content. So also a massive thank you to everybody who's checked out the content this year. But we are striving to reach 1,000 subscribers, about 300 away at this minute in time. If you would be able to like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends about the Stacey West YouTube channel, that would be massively appreciated by myself and everybody here at the Stacey West as well. So yeah, let's talk about the Bolton game on, goodness me, I'm trying to remember what day it was, the other day anyway. So a 1-1 draw against Bolton Wanderers. On the face of it, probably a good result given that they're 5th in the table, and where we are. However, on the night, it feels a little bit like a sucker punch. Obviously, I've already commented on the referee's performance in the West End Imp show, so if you want to know what I thought about the Bolton game, truly, filters off, check out the episode of the West End Imp show that will be in the link in the description as well. But yeah, it was a good point at the end of the day. Their goal shouldn't have stood, but you know what, we won't go too much into it. But yeah, positive result. Hopefully we can get another one against Ipswich. So I've spoken to Rich, aka the Cruncher from Talking Town, and here's what he had to say on all things Tractor Boys. Take it away, Rich. Right, so it's Ipswich at home tomorrow as we record this, which means only one thing. I'm joined by the Cruncher, aka Rich. Rich, how you doing, mate?
I'm good, mate. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to all Town fans, all Lincoln fans. And I was going to say, best of luck for 2023. Just not tomorrow, please.
Just not tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk about, we'll round 2022 up from an Ipswich point of view. I think it's shown some good signs, especially when McKenna, he got you on that unbeaten run towards the end of the season. It's continued into this season. How would you sum up your 2022 from an Ipswich point of view?
I think, look, we've had an excellent year, really. You look at, I think overall, I think he's took it's about 89 points from the year. Yeah. So if you look at that over the season, it probably wouldn't get you up at the minute. If you look at the way Town, Plymouth and Wednesday, we're all probably going to finish over 90 points, I'd have thought, Jake. I think just the way they're going. But yeah, it's positive. We play some really good football. We're well coached, we're well drilled, and hopefully come May, it'll end in promotion because that's where we want to be. We've got the finances and the resources when the window's obviously open now. I think we'll probably make some signings. So we're in a good place, but still got to get the job done, mate. And that's obviously the goal for Ipswich, to get promoted. As you say, we're entering the January window. Where do you need to improve? Because Ipswich, I look at Ipswich's squad and it's completely stacked, pretty much from an outsider's point of view, with an abundance of talent up front, really strong midfield options with the likes of Humphreys, Morsey, Evans, etc. Good defence, a really good goalkeeper. Where do you actually need to improve, Rich? Because it's pretty tough looking from the outside. Yeah, if you look on the socials on the Town timeline, I think it's a striker probably that we're going to need to give us that extra little push. I liken it to back in 2000 when we were in the Championship and we signed Marcus Stewart from Huddersfield, and he gave us that little push to get us over the line. Ladapo's done quite well. He's got 10 goals in all competitions, but we haven't really got that sort of. We've got Caden Jackson, who more operates in the wide sort of areas. Obviously, John Jules, you had him, didn't you, at Lincoln? He's injured. He's done his hamstring. He's back at Arsenal doing his rehab. So I'm not really sure when he's going to be back. They said maybe March. I think we've actually missed him, Jake. I think he's been a really good acquisition on loan. So I think it's that top end of the pitch. Look, we're strongly linked with Morgan Whitaker from Plymouth. He's obviously on loan. They signed the lad, I think he come from New Zealand, didn't he? Plymouth striker they signed. So that is a sort of rumour. I think us and Derby are after Whitaker. I think he's a good player. Clark Harris from Peterborough has been sort of rumoured, but I can't see him coming. I can't see Peterborough selling their sort of main man. Someone I do like is Aidan Collins at Bristol Rovers, because I think if you look at his goals return and his assists, I think he's up the top, isn't he, in both sort of areas. But it's that top end of the picture. I think we can sign 3. Dominic Ball, obviously, done his knee. I think he'll be deregistered. Kamara, we signed from Plymouth. He's hardly played. He's had to have a knee operation. I'm not really sure about him, if they'll take him out of the 22. But I think we can sign 3 players. So I'd expect us, Jake, to make some early signings. Mark Ashton has said that there's some deals sort of down the line. So in the next couple of days, I'll be pretty surprised if we don't see someone sort of coming through the door. And I think that's got they did say they're going to leave no stone unturned, and they don't want to have any regrets when it comes to May. And I think that's the way to go. We are in a lucky, like I said, in a lucky position that we've got the finances where we can sign a couple of free players. I know everyone else will probably think it's absolute madness when you look at our squad, but there is a couple of areas: a striker, possibly a wide sort of attacker. But yeah, some exciting times, and we just got to see who we get in, mate.
Yeah, I think Morgan Whittaker would be a good addition. Obviously, we had him on loan last season, really made an impact. And when he signed in January, was really good for us. He drew with Pompey a couple of days ago now, 2-2 at Fratton Park. Not a bad result on the face of it. Fratton Park's a pretty tough place to go. Having said that, I think you won 4-0 there last year, so pretty bad statement. But did you deserve a point? Should you have got more? Is it one where it's a point gained or 2 dropped?
Yeah. See, a lot of people will say, looking at Portsmouth's form, I think it was like going into that game, 1 and winning 12. They hadn't scored since I think mid-November. But you've been down there. It's they sort of made it into a cup tie. The atmosphere. They were well up for it, and obviously the early goal, Marlon Packer. Then if people have seen it, go back and have a look at that absolute worldie of a free kick, and then you think, blimey, it's hard now. We had a lot of control in that game, Jake, but we were always obviously 1-0 down, got back to 1-0. Then we were well on top, started the second half, 15 minutes, and then you did score the goal you scored at Portman Road was from a set piece, I think, and a header. We are a little bit weak at that, bit susceptible at sort of the back post, which their second goal come from. Raggett nodded it down, and Colby Bishop, who always scores against us, flicked it in. And then it was like, you're thinking, we've had a lot of games, one against you as well, where we have loads of possession, but sometimes we don't look like scoring. And I sat there thinking, I don't think we're going to score. And then Sam Morsey had a pot shot from about 25 yards. The goalie should have done better. He spilled it, and Chaplin's put it in. So overall, if you'd have said to me, take a point, I probably would have been happy, because I don't always look at, like, just because they're in poor form. Portsmouth still got some good players, and you look, Cowley was obviously your manager. He knows what he's doing. He did actually call us after the game. He did actually say, I think it's a lot of managers who we've played against sort of pumps our tyres up. He said Ipswich are the best League One team that he's ever seen. Now, that's a massive statement for me, because there's been some good League One sides over the years, and that only to me, I'll only believe that at the end of the season if we get out of this league and if we win the title. I think you can only say that. It's no good saying Ipswich are the best team in League One and we finished third and then we missed out in the playoffs, because that's swallow talk for me. But yeah, going to Portsmouth, coming away with a draw, a lot of fans were a bit disappointed. Personally, I was happy. I did say if we took 4 points over the 2 games against Pompey and against yourself, I'd be happy. So, yeah, move on.
I said the same against Bolton and Ipswich. It gives me the vibe when we played you at home a couple of years ago and we beat you 5-3. But I won't put you through the torture going through that goal by goal, because I know it'll give you a breakdown. Now, when we spoke in October, Rich, you said Connor Chaplin was the man to look out for. Is that still the case? Is he still going to influence the game tomorrow, do you think?
Yeah, he started the season well, and then he had a little bit of a dry spell, and then he's got, I think, 3 in the last 4. He's got 10 league goals now. He's our top scorer. He's a key man. Sam Morsey as well. I think in the middle of the pitch, he's the guy who you'll see tomorrow. He gets on the ball, dictates play. Shouldn't really be playing in this league. Chaplin shouldn't be playing in this league, if I'm honest, Jake. He should be playing in the Championship. And Morsey, we've got players who can play in the Championship, but it's all about getting there. It's the end result. They might not like I say, they shouldn't be playing in this league, but they are. They've decided to drop down for a reason. Obviously, they come when Paul Cook was here, but we need to get out. We need to get out of the league this season. This is the chance. At the minute, it's for me. It's going to be 2 out of the 3. I know Barnsley are on a good run of form at the minute, but they've still got to make them points up on the teams that are up there. A lot of people have said Plymouth will fall away. I'm not really in that camp. I don't think they will. You just look at their home form. They've beaten, I think, all of the top 7 teams. I know they've got to play them all away. So when we play them, they're our next league game after you, which is on the 14th after the cup tie. So that's a massive game, but. I think tomorrow, look, it's going to be a hard game down at Central Bank because I know you're the draw specialist. What is it? 2 wins, 9 draws, but you're hard to beat, for a reason. You're obviously well set up. And we see that at Portman Road when you scored that early goal. We had all the play, but we just couldn't break through. We had, 32 attempts on goal that day, but only 5 on target. So that says to me, and that's a little bit of a theme I do find in certain games. When we went to Wickham just before Christmas, they scored a goal in the first half and then just sat in the second half and said, go on, then break us down. And we couldn't do it. And that's what I fear tomorrow a little bit. If you score, I think tomorrow the first goal is massive for me. If we can get it, I think it will change the game a little bit. Maybe how you play, I don't know, but I'm hoping. But I think if you get ahead, look, you've only just got to look at the stats there. You're a hard team to beat. So first goal key for me tomorrow, mate.
We'll touch on the game at Portman Road earlier in the season then because you brought it up. You must have been really frustrated walking out of Portman Road that afternoon. Performance of the season from a Lincoln point of view, but you must have been kicking the absolute hell out of the car door on the way back.
Yeah, look, you've probably been to games like that when you're there and you think, we could be here till midnight, and you're not going to score no matter what you do. We didn't really have any real clear shot. You're coming away from a game, you look at the stats, and you think, right, we've had 32 attempts on goal, which any other day you probably would. The law of averages, there's going to be a couple that I think it was 16 block shots we had that day or something as well.
Yeah.
So look, obviously you defended manfully, and it is one of them where I think sometimes you just got to hold your hands up and say, look, well done to the opposition. You've done a job on us. We weren't good enough. We couldn't get a goal. And you took the 3 points home. We're disappointed, but hopefully tomorrow the roles will be reversed.
Yeah, and obviously we've helped you out also by picking up points against Argyle on Wednesday. You've been impressed since we last played, if you've looked out for results, etc.
Yeah, you're right. How's Teddy Bishop doing? Has he been playing, or is he injured still?
You know the story, Rich.
He's not still injured. He can't be still injured.
I think he'll be on the bench tomorrow. I'll be surprised if he starts. He doesn't play midfield. He plays out wide for us. So look, Ted Bishop could be anything that he wants, that, but his injury record just gets in the way of it, unfortunately. Right, Rich, we're going to do a score prediction because that's what you do for previews. How are you really thinking this is going to go tomorrow? Because I reckon it's got 1-1 written all over it.
I'm looking forward to coming down. We're obviously sold out. I think over 2,000 coming down. There's people looking for tickets all this morning. Anyone got any tickets for Lincoln? And it's been like that everywhere we go. We're sold out, so it'll be a good atmosphere tomorrow. From both sets of fans. I'd see the odd goal. I think it'll be similar games to the game at Portman Road, but I think this time, I think we might just edge it. I think we need to win. Like I said, after that draw at Pompey, and you look at MK playing today, Plymouth are playing MK today at home. I'd say that's a nailed on home win. I can't really see Milton Keynes going there and getting a lot. Sheffield Wednesday got Cambridge tomorrow, Jake at home, and you'd expect both of them really. If you're being realistic, you probably think both of them will win. So it's a key game for us because if we don't get that result tomorrow, we're probably going to slip to third, and then you're playing catch up. And I know there's still a long way to go, but it's these games where you go to these places like yours. It's going to be tough, but you just have to come away by hook or by crook. You might not play well. You might get a bit lucky. Like you said, refereeing decisions, which we've all seen in this league, that the standard of officiating is pretty poor, isn't it? But I'd say that's all over the board. I wouldn't say it's just in League One. I think at the refereeing, we all watched the World Cup and look how it was there, So I nothing really surprises me when you come to the officials. But I think I'll go for a 1-0 Town win tomorrow. We're good from set pieces. 28% of our goals this season have come from set pieces. Leif Davis, you need to watch out for him down that left. He's probably, if you'd done a poll now for Player of the Year, he'd probably be up there with Sam Morsey. He's been a great signing from Leeds. He just gets better every week. I think he's got 7 assists, I think mainly from corners. Where last season, Jake, we couldn't buy a goal from a corner yet. I think we're top scorers from set pieces in the league. So it wouldn't surprise me tomorrow if a goal comes from a set piece. 1-0 Town victory. We'll all go home happy, apart from the Lincoln fans.
And plug your work that you do with Talking Town as well, Rich.
Yeah, Talking Town. If anyone wants to come and watch our stuff, we're Martin, the host. He does about 3 or 4 shows a week. Look, like yourself, we just love talking about football. Just have a bit of a laugh. Don't take ourselves too seriously, but we want to take it seriously and we want to get promoted and we want to. Look, I love talking to you, but I want to be talking to other fans next season. Look, we've been here 4th season. I said it, I think, when I spoke to you last time. It's like 3 years. We haven't even touched the playoffs. So we're doing a lot better, but it's all about getting inside them top 2 spaces because you know what the playoffs are like. It's a lottery, isn't it? You look at MK last season, probably arguably one of the best teams in the league, football-wise, got into the playoffs. Wickham done a number on them. So you don't really want to be taking that. Look, if I'm being honest, great way. If you could say this is nailed on what's going to happen, I'd love a day out at Wembley. You take 40,000 down there and you win. Brilliant. But we all know football don't work like that.
No, yeah.
So we need to, when the shake-up comes at the end of the season, look, the pressure, we've been under pressure all season because I think everybody expects us to be in the top 2 with the money we spent, and the players we've got. Whereas Plymouth, did everybody expect them to be up there? Maybe not. But then when it comes into March and April, when the pressure's really on, can they cut it then? I don't know. I'm not saying they can't. Schumacher's done absolute fantastic there. If we could nick Morgan Whittaker, that'd be a great signing for us and that'd be a blow to them. But we'll just have to wait and see. But I think I'll still have us in the top 2, Jake. If I'm being honest, end of the season, I have to. My heart says we're going to be in there and my head says as well. I can't take the playoffs. I can't go through that. You went through it. You know what it's like. It's just... It's a nightmare. So hopefully, come into the season, we're in there. You have a positive end to the season, and look, let's see how we go tomorrow. What do you think? You think 1-0?
I think 1-0. I think I'm pretty sure all of our draws at home have been 1-0 apart from one, which was 2. One against Fleetwood and one against Charlton. 2-2 and 0-0. So it's going to be 1-1, I think. There'll be a goal either side. No pushes in the back. No dodgy penalties like we got a couple of years ago. So, anyway, Rich, thank you very much for coming on, mate.
Cheers, buddy, Rich, for coming back on the channel. Hopefully that's the last time you're on. Hopefully you get promoted at the end of the season. Don't want to have to see your face ever again on the Stacey West YouTube channel. No, I'm only joking. Rich is a really good lad. You ought to go check over the Talking Town podcast, which is what Rich is involved with. There is also something in the description for you to go and check that out. But that does bring this episode of the Stacey West preview show to a conclusion. Massive thank you for sticking around to the end and watching. Please do make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and we will see you at some point tomorrow for the West End Imps show. Happy New Year and up the Imps.